Hi everybody, welcome back. So today's video is a continuance of that video that I just put out about the two foundations and whether you wanted to see a comparison of the IT Cosmetics and the L'Oreal. And you guys responded back with, yes, please do a comparison. So that's what today's video is. It is a comparison of the IT Cosmetics and the L'Oreal True Match. So if you want to see what the results are, let's get started. So I just want to thank all of you for getting back to me in the comments about the comparison wear test between the L'Oreal and the IT Cosmetics. And I was shocked at how many of you responded back and said that, yes, you want to see a comparison video. So I was really excited. And then a couple of you had mentioned, and I had totally forgotten about this, that L'Oreal had purchased IT Cosmetics. This was quite a few years ago. So when I went to Google it to see exactly when it was 2016 that L'Oreal took over IT Cosmetics. I had totally forgotten about that. So thank you for reminding me. And so that made a little bit more sense, and that made it a little bit more exciting to see whether these two are very comparable. And then what else I was surprised at is so many of you that live in other countries that you don't know any other foundation like the packaging but this one. You're not familiar with the little short one, like the little one that I had. So that one surprised me. I just thought that they would have this like in all the countries. A couple of you had mentioned that this one, they haven't changed the packaging, but the formulation had changed. So that was quite interesting. So I want to really see how different the L'Oreal True Match is between the IT Your Skin But Better Plus Skincare Foundation. If you saw my video, I was curious to see whether the claims, because they both claim that your skin will improve in 2 weeks. And when I did Google it on the website, both of them, what shocked me was when I went and broke it down into the ingredient list, and if I can, I'll just screenshot it and I'll put the ingredients on here for you guys. The ingredients are basically identical for each product. So the one ingredient was called silica, which was like basically right in the list of ingredients. It was right smack in the middle. So when I Googled it, because remember, I'm not a professional, so I like to see what the products, the ingredients are and what they actually do. So when it says that silica in cosmetics is used as a natural and anti-inflammatory and helps relieve certain skin conditions. So that is the only difference that is the ingredient that is in this one compared to the L'Oreal. Now, there may be varying degrees of strength that they may be putting into each of the products, but that, obviously we don't know that because that's just how the product is made. So very curious to see how they're both going to go. Just to give a little bit of a recap on each product, just in case you haven't seen my other videos, I did a whole first impression on this one. I did a side-by-side. That was one of my last videos. I did a side-by-side between the old formula and the new formula. And then the IT Cosmetics, I did a whole first impression wear test, that sort of thing for that product. One of my favorite foundations. The L'Oreal is 45 shades, and it's enriched with hyaluronic acid and improves skin quality in just 2 weeks, which I had mentioned before. The foundation enhances your natural glow and is suitable for sensitive skin. And then the IT Cosmetics, again, medium coverage. They're both medium coverage, hydrating, natural finish, good for dullness, even texture. Hyaluronic acid, that has it in too. It's buildable. They're both buildable. And this one, I believe, comes in about 40 shades. So they're very comparable in shade range. And the IT Cosmetics, this one is $52, whereas this one, the L'Oreal, only cost me, I think it was $19. So just a little bit of a price difference. And I have this one in the shade, the L'Oreal is 2.N Vanilla, and the IT Cosmetics one I have in Light Neutral 22. Kind of see they are very similar. This one's just a little bit lighter, I guess. But hopefully we'll be able to see the difference on the wear test. I'm going to do half my face with this one, half my face with this one. I will be wearing it throughout the day, and I want to see how they are going to compare. First, what I'm going to do, though, I want to use primer this time because with both, actually, like with when I did the video for this one and when I just did the video for this one, I didn't use any primer. So I do want to use a primer this time. And I'm just going to go in with the CoverGirl True Blend. This is the Skin Smoothing Primer. I wanted to use just like a lotion type of primer. I didn't want to use one that has like any sort of glow to it because I wanted the concentration to be on the foundations and their true effects of how they work and how they look. So I do really like this primer. It's very nice. It does give me nice, like a really nice smooth skin afterwards. I have already applied all of my moisturizer and all my skincare before this. And then the only other thing I'm going to add, because this isn't really a pore minimizing primer, so I'm just going to go in. I just have a little sample size of the POREfessional, the Benefit one. And I'll just use that one in my areas like in here and just down on my chin area here where I have the biggest pores. I concentrate it just in this area and I press it in. Make sure we get those pores filled. And then I add a bit more to my forehead. Not so much for the pores, but just right here where I have these fine lines. And that just kind of helps smooth them out. And then down on my chin. And again, I just press it in, smooth it out, press it in. So I'm just going to let that soak into my skin, and then we're going to move on to the foundation. Okay, so I just brought you in a little bit closer. And we're going to get started. I'm going to use sponges this time instead of brushes because I think the one foundation for sure applies way better with a sponge, the IT Cosmetic one. So on the one side, I'm just going to use my L'Oreal sponge. And then on the other side, I'm going to use a new sponge. This one is by e.l.f. And one of my friends here on YouTube, Amanda, she swears by this e.l.f. sponge. She thinks it's like better than the Beauty Blender. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a try because I wanted to use 2 different sponges. I didn't want to each one to be contaminated with the other one. And then the other thing is, I was going to say, don't mind my hair today because I'm filming 2 videos and I was wanting to get ready first before I filmed the next video because it's going to be a hair video. It's actually one of my first hair videos that I've ever done, and I'm going to be using a new product for that. So just don't mind the hair. It's a little crazy right now, but we're going to just move on. And I don't know which one I'm going to post first, whether it's this one or the hair one, but either way, they'll both be out pretty quick here. So let's go in with the L'Oreal on this side here and give it a shake. And the consistency, if you remember last time, is a bit on the runnier side. So it's going to start going down my hand. All right, let's start blending it in. I was quite happy with the last video of how well it applied. And the wear test, it lasted for so long. This is actually a really nice sponge. I do like it. It's very bouncy. So it does blend in. I think it does look a little bit better with the sponge. With this sponge here in particular, it does have a really nice finish to it. It does have that light coverage, light to medium coverage. I can build it up, so I will build it up a little bit more. Okay, so now this side is done. I just blended everything in, but you can still see my skin is, my natural skin is still poking through. But it's a really lovely foundation. Then we're going to go in now with the IT Cosmetics. I find this one is a little bit runny. It's not as runny as the L'Oreal. This one does, as soon as I'm putting it on, it does have more of just like a serum-y feel to it. They both blend in really nicely. And it looks like both the shades actually are very, very comparable. I'm a little surprised at that. But as I'm putting this on, seriously, I am not really noticing a big difference. Oh boy. Like this, you can still see, so I haven't added any more, but definitely, my skin is still poking through. Now I'll go in with just a little bit more and build it up. But wow, this is quite remarkable. I have it all blended in now, and I'm just blown away. I honestly, as I'm coming out closer, I don't know if you guys can see a difference. I seriously can't see a difference. So this is L'Oreal, and this is the IT Cosmetics. The IT Cosmetics, I kind of in this area here, it might look a little bit more hydrated, but not by much. I'm just going to put a tiny bit on my hand, and I'll rub it into my hand and show you guys the difference on my hand and show you kind of the hydration part of it. So this is this one right here. That's the L'Oreal. Okay, so let's rub that in. Okay, so you can see how nice and dewy it looks. Okay, so here's the IT Cosmetics. Like, you guys, like, seriously. And when I'm looking at it on this angle, the L'Oreal looks more hydrating than the IT Cosmetics. Wow, I'm shocked. I told you guys the price difference, right? Like, this is $52 Canadian and this was 19. And I am 100% honest with you. Like, I cannot see, like, even up here, yes, there might be just a tiny bit more radiance up here, but overall, like, they're both, there's a little bit of settling already. I'm like a broken record. I always say that. I'm always having settling in my fine lines. I have like a ton of primer on there. It doesn't matter. But you guys, like, look at this. So I'm blown away. So I'm going to quickly go off camera, do my makeup. I'll come back, show you how it looks with the rest of the face done up and whether that makes a difference. And we'll go from there. So I'll be back in a second. All right, so I'm back, face is on, and I am loving how this is looking. Like, seriously, when I was putting on my makeup and I was really trying to pay attention to how the whole, like, both sides looked. And I don't know about you guys, but I cannot see, I'm going to just try and come up a little bit closer here. I cannot see a difference between the two. Keep in mind, this is the L'Oreal side and this is the IT Cosmetics. But they both look incredible. Like, there is no difference in both sides. I'm shocked. So I'm going to do a wear test. And right now it is about 11:43 on Saturday morning. So I'm going to try and wear this as long as I can, hopefully eight hours at least. And I'll come back. I'll give you my final thoughts of how both sides wore. And I'm really curious to see how this works out, because if this can be a dupe for this, that's going to save so much money. So I think it looks awesome. So I will check in with you guys in a little while. Hello, we are back in for our final check-in. So it is about 10:09 at night. So I've had this on for about 10 hours. Yeah, just like a little bit over 10 hours. And I must say how pleasantly surprised I am at how well both sides look. And I was really scrutinizing it throughout the whole day. I was really trying to pick apart, making sure I was, really looking at it and objectively looking at it to see, could I see big differences in the two sides. I can't say that I see big differences. I have the light turned down pretty low right now so that it'll kind of show more my natural, like in natural daylight kind of light. What I can see definitely is the IT side. So this is the IT side. This is the L'Oreal side. The IT side looks maybe just a little bit more hydrated. Like, if I can come closer to you guys, if I can see that I'm close enough. Right in here, I still look very, very hydrated. On the L'Oreal side, there's some sort of, maybe it's where I had my reading glasses, just kind of up in this area here. It looks like there's a little bit of wrinkling or something going on. Not sure exactly what that is. But are they like 100% exactly the same? No, they're not. I can say they are very, very, very close. Like, the L'Oreal is a definite dupe for the IT Cosmetics. The only other things that I really could see if I was really like picking it apart is in my smile lines. So on the IT Cosmetics side, yes, it is settling into my fine lines, but not as much as the L'Oreal. This has more of a deeper crevice going down it here than this side does. Keep in mind, I also did apply primer this time. And when I was feeling my skin, I was trying not to touch my face today, but I really wanted to see how it felt. And even now, like, I'm touching my skin and it just feels so soft. Like, both sides feel really, really soft. And that's partly, the hyaluronic acid, but you can really feel like the skincare in there. They both feel very, very beautiful. And one thing that I forgot to mention earlier was that I did not apply any powder. Like I used no setting powder today. So I think that it looks quite nice without having me, without me having set it today. I sometimes don't always set my foundation, just depending on what foundation I've used that day. But as a test, I just wanted to see how it did without setting powder today. And I think it looked really nice and natural. So if I was to break down both sides, pros and cons, they are both very lightweight. I never felt at all like even now I don't feel at all like I'm wearing anything on my face. They both feel very hydrating. One side is like they're not drying at all. Like my skin does not feel dry at all. Neither one of them are cakey. Like they both look very, like I said before, just very hydrated, very radiant, and like there's no cakiness going on at all. Partly due, I think, that I prefer to use a sponge most times rather than a brush. If you want to build the coverage up, go ahead and use a brush. But for me personally, I like to use a sponge. And I just think it depends on what foundation I'm using. But with these ones in particular, I think that the sponge makes it look just more more of a natural looking finish. And keep in mind, I mean, everybody's skin is different. So how a product works on my skin may work differently on your skin. Everybody has different like skin texture, skin types, like whether you're oily, dry, normal skin. So that all plays a part in how your foundation's going to look. With me I have drier skin. I would say more dry. There was at one point where I was more of a neutral, like a normal dry, but definitely now I'm just dry. But both these foundations just made my skin feel so soft and hydrated. So am I saying that these are very comparable and dupes? Yes, I would say that this is definitely a dupe for this. And when I mentioned earlier about cost, I mean, that is a huge cost savings. So if you don't want to spend the money, I think what I said earlier was about $52. If you don't want to spend that, this is an incredible dupe for this product. It's not exactly the same. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it's exactly the same. But for both of them, I mean, they're both light to medium coverage. You can build them up. So they're very buildable. They're both very hydrating. They both give a really, really natural looking finish. You can still see my natural skin is poking through, which I do like that. They both have hyaluronic acid in them. So very, very, very impressed. Very happy. I'm happy that I did the comparison video. I think that was a lot of fun. And like I said, when I'm going through and looking at my skin, I mean, you guys can see it on the camera that either side, other than this one here, just kind of going into my fine lines a little bit more. Other than that, I really can't see any difference. So you'll for sure be seeing this one and on my channel a lot. And you know how much I love this one. This is like one of my all-time favorites. This is, I think, what did I say in my one video? I think I said that this really was one of my favorite finds for the whole entire year. So to find something that is a dupe for it, I am just over the moon. I think that's fantastic. I'll have everything linked and listed down below if you were interested, because I didn't really show what I put on for makeup today, so I'll have that all down below of what I wore today. So before you go, and if you haven't done so already, I would love for you to become a little part of my world here on YouTube. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and also that notification bell, that lets you know whenever I upload new videos. And if you like this sort of content, give it a big thumbs up. Like I said earlier, I was so happy to see all of you comment that you wanted to see this video, so I'm so glad that I could do it for you. And I'm very happy with how it turned out. And don't forget, you can always follow me over on Instagram, and I've got Twitter, Facebook, all that sort of stuff, and those are always linked in my description box below as well. And throw me some comments down below and let me know whether you've tried the IT Cosmetics, and if you are going to try the L'Oreal, or if you've tried it and how you think it looks, and if there's any other foundations out there that you think give a nice, really hydrating, light coverage formula. Let me know that down below. I think I said in an earlier video that I am going to be also testing another foundation that I bought a couple weeks ago. And this one's a different type of foundation for me to try out. So I'm a little bit curious to see how it's going to work, but that's going to be in an upcoming video. So as always, I hope everybody has a great week and a great life, and I will see you all very soon in my next video. Bye.